In this video I would like to talk about the fear that we are confronted by when it comes to defending one's ideas, because we might fear that they will be ridiculed. And I claim that this fear must be overcome, and one has to find the strength to assert the idea that one believes to be true, even though they may be controversial or laughable or nonsensical. But if you know that they are true, I think that you should be willing to defend them to the end. That's the first remark that I thought about. And the second is I talk to myself as an empirical individual that I enjoy comfort, material comfort, but I can live without too much comfort. I enjoy drinking beer and vodka and eating when I'm hungry and sleeping when I'm tired. But other than that, I don't have excessive material need for comfort, because my comfort comes from studying and reading books. And precisely, it is a moment in the process of self-development and self-assertion is to renounce your own comfort for the sake of a higher purpose. And if I listened to my selfish self, which is evil, I would read books all day and make videos, and yeah, because that's what I enjoy the most, to read books and to understand the world. But the world is in conflict, and I know myself that I have a responsibility to share a message, a positive message with the world, to enlighten the world. And I know that I need to gather understanding and knowledge from a direct experience of the world, and not through the sole mediation of books. So I will continue reading books as long as I can, but I must make a first step towards accepting that I must be able to reconstruct my own knowledge through a direct experience of the world. And I made videos in which I said that any question about the being of anything must necessarily lead to absolute knowing. So reading Hegel, because I believe that there is truth in Hegel, reading Hegel gives me comfort and kind of joy, because the more I understand, the more joyful I am. But I must be willing to renounce discomfort, and if my view of truth is really true, it implies within its own concept that I must be able to reconstruct truth, because it's a self-reconstructing process, a logical self-movement, that wherever I start from, truth shall be able to reconstruct itself. So I must accept the idea that living my books might be a necessary renunciation in order to gain a higher purpose and a higher truth and a higher meaning. So I will not stop reading books and making videos, but I must prepare myself with the possibility that soon, or I don't know, I will no longer be capable of making videos or reading books, and I have planted the seeds of knowledge, of conceptual, speculative knowledge on this channel, and I advise to those who are interested in my message to watch all my videos several times if necessary, to try to decipher the profound meaning that can be found, to correct my errors, because my worldview consists in adapting one's worldview to the negative that is being brought forth, and to incorporate the negative within one's worldview to reconsider things. So I'm not saying that I have the truth, because the truth is the self-movement of itself and consists in making errors and mistakes and illusions. But yeah, and you will find the videos that I published in 2019 on the website Alt Censored. If you write cultural Hegelianism Alt Censored on YouTube, on Google, you will find some of the videos that I published in 2019, and it will enable you to have an understanding of my intellectual development and psychological development and conceptual understanding. And yeah, and there's the channel Eternal Light. I will put the link in the description. And to conclude, I will talk about this traumatic experience that I had in August 2018, in which I envisioned myself as being the one principle of all reality, which I called God, and that I had separated myself from myself. I don't know how. That was a means of representation in order to make sense of the world that was confronting me. So I was the one, but by an evil and repulsive act, I had separated myself from myself. And this duality caused myself the will to rejoin with the part of myself that I had just rejected, and this part was feminine and it was beautiful. So the ambiguity of evil is that it brought forth beauty and love. That's how I envision it. I don't know if it's true, but that's the representation that I had. And in a third movement, it was not very clear. I had this idea that the third moment of the Trinity was philosophy, the bringing forth of the philosophical speech, the logos, in order to remind myself that love and evil and beauty and suffering were all one. And this is the purpose of philosophy, to teach me that. So this is the highest idea that I ever had, the idea that I am what the Neoplatonist calls the one, and that I am the cause of separation, and I must reunite myself with myself. And later I understood that this is what Hegel calls reason, and that I am a negative because I am an individual confronting an objective world, and there is separation. And I don't remember having done it, but I must have brought negativity from the original unity of all things. So I am a principle of separation and evil, and I have evil within me, a will to dominate and to hurt, and an anger and a twisted mind. And I understood in the last few days that from a logical standpoint, and I try to be a logician, negativity or the negative cannot be thought of without the positive. The dark is in a conceptual relationship with the light, and I am not all negative and only negative, because this is logically impossible. I am negative, and the negative, which is what the Christian call the devil or the Lucifer, but there must be a good, a positive, which comes out of the negative. Otherwise, it would not be negative if it was not in a relationship with the positive. So I must accept what I am, and I must find the strength to bring positivity and light into the world, and not retreat within my negative aspect, which is necessary because it is in a logical connection with the positive. But I must overcome my own negativity and overcome myself, and I must conquer my own evil and my own darkness. And this is the path of becoming God, because God is the one who masters uh, good and evil, light and dark, uh, positive and negative. And to be God and to have the consciousness of being one with God is the most difficult the most difficult task. It's so difficult that people think, "Oh, I would like to be God," but this is the worst job in the world, because God is the one who must solve all contradictions, reunite all opposites. Well, and I know what courage should do in the situation where I find myself in, is to assert my ideas, namely that I believe that there is only one substance of which we are all moments, and that I am the negative of this substance and also the subject of this substance, and that all the evil in the world is a projection, a subconscious projection of my own inner evil, and that I must reconcile men with men, man with God, myself with man and with God, and God with himself. So I am a moment of my development is being what the Christian call the devil, which is the negative. But another moment is what the Christian call Christ, and I must bring forth the consciousness of Christ through an intellectual and cognitive process, and I must enlighten the world, because from my point of view, I have seen the view of the totality and the interconnections between all individual consciousnesses and between all phenomena in a broad outline, and I must be the connecting agent. I think that I am the missing link, and I need to bring forth my view of the totality to enable to reconcile the totality with itself, and to reconcile myself with the whole, with the world. And yeah, so I will try to be courageous, because I know from an abstract point of view what courage is, and I know that it implies that one must overcome one's fear and one's comfort, and do one's duty, and I will try to, and I know that I will fail, because the mission is so difficult. To to be courageous is not to have no fear. Sometimes, even when you want to be courageous, you are overcome by your fears, but it's the will to struggle against your own fear and to overcome them. And this is the path towards psychological evolution and transformation. And yeah, so I will now, that's what I have attempted to do since I've been making these videos, but I will do it more consciously. I will try to actualize myself in the world as God, while knowing that I am a God in process, which is a pathetic at first, and partly evil and stupid. It's part of the process. I must equalize my higher self with the world consciousness, and it requires a sacrifice of my lower self. And yeah, so I will continue making videos, and yeah, but that was just the view that I had.